everyone. Welcome to Dead Talkers. This is a new show that will be on the Fangirl Review channel. We will be talking about The Walking Dead. So we also read the comic books here, so we will be making references to that. If you don't want any spoilers in your life, I suggest you stop this and walk away now. It's in your best interest. Otherwise, I don't want to hear any bitching and complaining. My guest today is Mr. T. He will be my co-host. Mr. T, go ahead and introduce yourself. Oh.
Hello, everyone. Oh, somebody else just popped in, too.
Mr. T, you going to talk about yourself a little bit more than that?
Sorry. Hello, everyone. My name is Mizzah T of the Mizzah T Show. I do a show, basically a YouTube channel on Nintendo gaming, some comedy. I try to mix it up a little bit. And, yeah, that's who I am. And obviously, I'm a fan of the Walking Dead show. And we're going to get it in and talk about that show. I don't keep up with too many TV shows, but for some reason, Walking Dead is one of the shows that, keeps my interest. So, and that, for good reason. So we're going to get into that. But how you doing out there?
And we have our special guest for today, Jay. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sorry I'm late.
It's okay. We literally just started.
Oh. Hey, everybody. I'm just here to add moral support.
We're going to make a believer out of Jay that he will immediately binge watch The Walking Dead on Netflix and become one of us. He will. Okay, so what was that? Season 5, Episode 9, I believe it was. What Happened and What's Going On was the name of the episode. I'm not quite sure why they went with that, but whatever. Okay, so, Mr. T, what were your thoughts on this episode?
Okay, I guess I should have did a little bit more background. I'm a film school graduate, and I shoot independent film on my own. I also do stuff for businesses and things like that. So I'm going to approach this episode from a film student or filmmaker point of view first. Filmmaker-wise, visually, I thought it was pretty impressive. It felt like it kind of felt like a short film to some degree. It was very what's the word I'm looking for? Very there was a lot of symbolism in it. Obviously, the conversation that Tyreese was having with the other members that had passed on. Basically, he was having this kind of delusion, or not delusion, but he was seeing things, and he was seeing these characters, and he was kind of fighting with himself. Decisions he made and stuff like that. And I thought visually that was really well put together. I thought the whole episode was visually, tonally, and pacing-wise, really well done. But as far as a fan, from a fan's point of view, I wasn't very happy with it. One reason, Tyreese, as far as the character, I felt like his time was coming. Basically, he had reached a point to where I was getting annoyed with him, and the decisions he was making was basically costing lives. So I was getting a little annoyed with the character. I myself am not a reader of the comic, so I know some people are expecting what happened to him to happen, and like I said, I was kind of. And it's same goes for Beth. We'll get into that later. But from a fan's point of view, I wasn't very impressed with the episode. But from a filmmaker's point of view, it was visually and tonally good. I'll leave it there.
Yeah. As a Joe Schmo who doesn't really know anything about film and all that stuff, just what I like to watch is what I like to watch. Every once in a while, I'm okay with the whole symbolism and all that stuff and blah, 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 blah. But sometimes I don't want all that. If we're going to kill him, let's kill him. Let it be. I mean, I understand the whole, him bleeding out, so he's hallucinating, and he's dealing with the bad guys along with the good guys, and his consciousness is working itself out, and blah, blah, blah. Don't they say that you relive your life as you're dying or something? So, okay. But I'm a reader of the comics, and I always enjoyed Tyrese's character. So when they kept watering him down and making him this huge moral compass and blah, 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 and now he has a sister when in the comics he had a daughter, and I was rolling with you, and then he just became so weak. And I'm like, why? Just take the hammer away from him. He doesn't deserve it anymore. It's Thor. He doesn't deserve the hammer anymore. Take it away because he doesn't deserve it. You've watered him down so much. And at that point, I'm like, go ahead and kill him because I don't really care. I'm not attached to him.
He was so pathetic.
He was pathetic, and I just, okay, whatever. He's like, oh, he's trying to better himself, and he just couldn't take anymore, yada, 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 whatever, kill him. Moving on.
And ow! Vicious.
I mean, it's true that I wasn't attached to the character anymore. I was attached to him in the comics. Got his head chopped off. It was sad.
Oh, that's how you went in the comic, huh?
In the comics, he had his head chopped off in front of the prison. So think of how Herschel had his head chopped off.
Oh, so did they switch that with him?
That should have been Tyreese. Technically, Herschel
got mad.
Yeah, Herschel shouldn't have made it off the farm. Herschel should have died on the farm.
Right, I heard that, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, Andrea's supposed to be still alive and one of the strongest female characters ever in any comics, but details, whatever.
Oh, really?
Whatever. Yes.
Oh, no. I'm glad I don't wait. I'm reading the comics then.
Think of it this way. You have, Rick in the middle, and you have, Michonne as his right hand with her sword, and you have Andrea as his left hand with her sniper rifle taking out everybody, and you have serial killer Carl who takes out everybody else.
Wow.
That's the comics in a nutshell.
Interesting.
You're not seeing that on there, are you? No.
I don't. Yeah. I want to read the comics based on the stuff that I hear from you guys, but I don't want to. Then I'm gonna ruin the show for myself because I'm gonna know who's gone. I'm gonna know who's gonna get taken out. So I'm kind of torn that way.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think of them as two separate entities that sometimes meet every once in a while. Sorta.
Right. So. Again, from a filmmaker's perspective, I understand that. Certain things that work in the comics don't work in a show or a live action thing, and
true.
That's understandable. But some of these things that I hear, way big changes. That's kind of crazy to make it that wild. I don't see how. I'm not one of the writers, so I don't know because the thing about writing a TV show, you have to write. There's a lot of writing, so all this stuff has to tie together. We're talking 20-some-odd episodes for a season sometimes. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of looking at a grandiose picture that it's not going to work the same way as it working in a comic because the comic is the episodic nature of a comic is a little different than the episodic nature of TV shows. So I get that, but to make such broad changes, I guess sometimes they do it because they know there are a lot of fans of the show and they want to kind of, throw you off some fastballs, so you don't see things coming like you think you're going to see them.
Very true.
Right, so I get that, but, again, from a fan of the show that hasn't read the comics, this season thus far isn't that impressive to me. The first couple of episodes were kind of beastly and kind of fell off after that. Obviously, we just started with the mid-season continuance here, and I wasn't that impressed. That's not a way to start the mid-season continuation, I don't think.
Yeah, and then think about the episode started and they were having the funeral, and I guess most people assumed that the funeral was for Beth. And then turns out that it was actually for Tyreese. And it's well, dang, that means technically the black guy died first, right? He was dead before the credits even rolled. He was already dead. That's what we did. mean, it's Black History Month. You couldn't keep him alive for a little bit? I mean, something.
Start getting worried when you see a bunch of, it was too many black people showing up in this show. You had to pop a few of them off. We don't want to turn this into a black show.
Exactly. They don't have to be on BET or something, right? Like, all right, now the quota's down. We can keep it going.
So I guess it kind of you wonder where it leaves his sister that obviously it was written in for the show and doesn't really exist in the comic world. So that really puts her between a rock and a hard place at this point, because
exactly.
Let's just say she's not pissing anybody off.
Oh, boy. Like with her, I kind of don't. I don't know how I feel about her to begin with. She's to me, she's next.
She has a big bullseye on the back of her head, like, yo.
Right, because it's like I don't really feel one way or the other way with her, because we already got Michonne, the strong black female character. She's kind of lost. She just lost her brother, obviously, and she lost her boyfriend, Bob, who I actually like. I didn't think I was gonna like him. I grew to like him. Then that's what happened in this show. You grow to like people. They out of there.
And they did.
So now we left with the preacher, who I don't like, and
oh yeah, exactly, the guy you don't like.
The funny thing, I forgot he was still around. I didn't remember until they showed the funeral scene. I was like, oh yeah, he's still around. I forgot. I thought they already got rid of him. I couldn't remember. So there's him, and then there's back to her. So she lost all those people, and to me, she was already kind of a empty character to begin with. So she annoyed the hell out of me with that episode when they were at the compound with the cannibals, and she did that stupid thing with she was gonna snipe that one zombie. She thought the cop was a cop's friend. I was like, oh god. How can you fall for that?
And at that point, she is exactly what my dad would call a dumb broad. I'm like, are you serious right now? Are you serious? Is that what we're doing? Is that what we're doing? You were so stupid.
I was so annoyed. I was like, really? That's what you're gonna turn your back on that guy in this world?
I think he's trustworthy. What made you think that?
Yeah, and the same thing with Tyreese. I was so annoyed how he got caught off, quote unquote, caught off guard, staring at a picture on the wall. Do you not know where you at?
Yeah, and then it's not like he didn't know that there
were in there. He already saw one of them.
The zombie shuffling through the door. He saw that, and then he went to the other room. So I guess he didn't realize that the bathroom was connected. I'm like, what? You didn't think to secure the area first?
Right. In this world, the zombies are kings of jump scares. So you're supposed to be on your guard at all times. In this world, that if we're supposed to be looking at it from his perspective, the things that he's already seen, why would you let your guard down and stare at it? I know that they were trying to say, again, with the symbolism and, me being a filmmaker, they were trying to say is that, but they didn't really deliver that. I'll say that. They were trying to say that Tyreese basically had, he knew he couldn't be the crazy killer that he needed to be in this world. And he knew that the person he wasn't going to make it in this world. And he had basically saw all he could see and do all he could do. And he was, basically giving up, staring at his humanity, staring at that picture. That's what it was about. But again, from a person who isn't keen to these types of things, which is most of the viewing audience, they're gonna be like, "What the hell was that?" And even for me, it wasn't delivered well. So, go ahead.
Just from what you just described, he sounded like he deserved to die. It's hard one-on-one, dude. You deserve to die for that.
Exactly. I'm gonna stare at this.
You deserve to die.
Yeah, that's what they were trying to say. He was basically giving up because he couldn't become what we as viewers wanted him to become, which is he's a big dude. He should be this crazy killer with a hammer. That's what he was supposed to be. And from what you're saying from the comics, that's kind of who he was, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, to have him watered down and the way he is in the show didn't work for me as a person who doesn't know the comics, and obviously didn't work for you. So I don't know. I guess he was misused as a character for both of us.
Exactly. But let's see. What else? Was there anything else in the episode? Okay, my concern, when Michonne was all like basically begging Rick, oh, we could stay here, we could stay here, we could stay here. And I'm like, are you serious? Are you really serious right now? I'm like, are they making her weak now? If they do, it's a wrap. It's over. Click. It's off. It's done.
I think I even said that to Jay one time. I was like, yo, if Michonne becomes soft, I'm out. I'm done, son. I'm done. I'm over with. Because, you know, she's, you know, other than Bob. And Bob, you know, I'm not Bob, sorry. Rick. Other than Rick, and like I said, Rick is kind of a waning character for me, too. He annoys me quite a bit from time to time. Last season, especially, he annoyed the hell out of me. But, you know, if she goes, like, you know, she was one of the people that kept me enthralled with the show early on. Because, you know, for me, it's hard to keep me into a TV show for too long. You know, even if it's a good show, it's not. It's I guess it's something that's hardwired in me. Like, okay, 3 seasons, I'm kind of done. And that's something new with me. Before, I used to watch TV shows, you know, till they died, basically. But
or till after they should have died.
Right, until after they should have died, especially, yeah. But you know, the new me, it's hard to keep me enthralled, and she's one of the characters that keep me there. And if they turn her weak, like I'm, you know,
take a moment, breathe. They haven't done it.
I know, I can't do it. But she started to annoy me with this out of character mess of let's build the perfect world here in this zombie infested forest wasteland. Like, yeah. What's I mean? That wasn't like it wasn't like that was the prison, you know, where you could actually fortify the place. The place was surrounded, like Rick said, by trees and stuff, you know. So
yeah, you couldn't see a zombie horde or evil people until they were on top of you. You couldn't defend that.
It just didn't make sense for her character to say something that stupid, you know, like
exactly because she survived out.
Popular characters on the show.
What was that?
Isn't she one of the most popular characters on the show?
Yes, she is.
So that means if she that, a lot of people gonna cut off.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't think it's just us, you know.
Yeah.
Her with that blade, boy, that's some badassery right there. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, and even what led up to Tyreese, you know, the events leading up to him. You know, first of all, he can't catch a guy that's on one leg, basically, run into, you know, like that whole sequence of. Chasing after I can't remember his name. I'm gonna call him. Everybody hates Chris. Okay. Noah. Noah, who's basically gotten people that I like killed throughout so far since his whole his inception. He first of all, you know, again, Tyreese couldn't chase him down to catch him before he gets to the house. They get to the house. It just was stupid decision after dumb decision. Like, okay, he gets bit, and I'll leave you here while I go get help. Like,
yeah, and he got bit on the arm.
Thank you. I was about to get to that. He got bit in the arm. Here's a guy who has one leg. He's gonna go get help. What is going on? I mean,
there was no reason why he couldn't get up. Walk out of the house, walk into the street.
Go with him.
So at least he could see anything around him, and then hopefully when Michonne, Rick, and Glenn come out of wherever, they would see him sitting in the middle of the street bleeding.
Right. You know, and they did it because anybody else that would have went with him wouldn't have left him, you know. It wouldn't have left him there. So, like, you know, if Rick would have went with him, they would have handled it. Wouldn't have been, I need to go get some help. So Noah was the only character, the weak character that would have needed, you know, to go get help. But the problem with Noah is on one leg, and and Tyreese isn't. If anybody should be running for help, it's Tyreese.
Exactly.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense for a guy that big. It wasn't like it was a neck bite. A neck bite would I would have accepted it a little bit better, you know. And you know, obviously. They would have that would have been more symbolic of him getting his head cut off in the comic book. You know, obviously that didn't happen in the show. But I mean, that's why that whole sequence didn't work for me because.
But then, okay, so it bit him like
on his forearm.
On his forearm.
Yeah.
What major artery?
I don't know one.
Is there one? Because I don't recall there being a major artery to the point that you will bleed out so fast that you were starting hallucinating and seeing all kinds of people.
Right.
What? And it wasn't like there was a big chunk of his arm missing. It was like a rabid dog had really gotten at him.
Right.
That's about it. So I just want to know what major artery or vein is in your forearm that will cause you to...
I think the directors forgot that he got bit in the arm and not in the leg because they were hobbling around with him like something was wrong with his legs, even when they came to get him, So,
yeah,
I mean...
Okay,
I was very confused.
I'm looking at a picture of Tyreese. If he really did get bit in the arm, and it didn't take a chunk out, he shouldn't bleed out.
No.
Exactly.
That dude's too big.
No, I mean, the only thing that would have saved it, or would have made more sense to me, if he got bit like in his femur, something like that, something, or
somewhere
in his,
where you could actually really bleed out.
Right, or in his ankle, like in his Achilles or something, somewhere that would immobilize him, especially a guy his size. You're not gonna bite his arm and immobilize him.
No dude that big.
Some little kid. It was a kid zombie. Right? It was the kid, Noah's brother, right?
Yeah.
So...
It was little teeth then. It wasn't a full-grown adult teeth. It was little baby teeth that went like this.
So basically the teeth should have broke on his forearm.
Right, and then...
Basically how big he was, it probably...
Yeah.
And then you had Grandpa, who got bit and got his leg chopped off, and he was holding it down like a boss for a whole season. Like it didn't work. Like that's the case of a bunch of writers in a room, not really seeing the visual picture. But this works tonally. They're writing it, and this works. And they got caught up in the symbolism of him sitting there talking to the ghosts. Dealing with his issues. They got caught up in that stuff, and they didn't think of the practicality of what happened to happen to Tyreese himself. And that's why, when they get the shooter, sometimes, they get on set sometimes, you're like, oh man, this isn't going to work. And it's just too late at that point. You got to shoot it. And I bet that's what happened when they went out there to shoot this.
Yeah.
Oh man, you read it and it looks cool, but when you actually go out there to shoot it, practically it just doesn't work. And that's what happened.
Yeah. Hopefully that's what happened. Or they probably didn't even realize and they thought it was perfect, and that was that. It is what it is. Was there anything else from this episode? I don't think so, right?
Major? No, nothing major. Do you want to talk about, because again, this is our first episode here. Do you want to talk about how we feel about the show in general? Or
Yeah, sure.
Let's go back and, talk about...
Let's back in time. Okay, so like I'm saying again, I'm just going to preface this, that again, I am the reader of the comics. I read by volumes. That's how I read mine. And I don't like how much the characters have been watered down. I understand that you can't have Carl being the badass killer that he is in the comic books on TV, because, you can't have the kid just killing people and zombies, because he just doesn't care. He kills everybody. So I understand that. But some characters you're just kind of like destroying. And I just wish you don't have to destroy them. You don't have to make up new characters. You don't have to do all that. Kirkman created such a rich world that you don't need to make up stuff. There's no need for that. But I mean, I'm enjoying the show. I'm not going to stop watching unless they destroy Michonne. Then you're gonna lose me, and then I'm gonna lead the brigade of destroying the Walking Dead. Like, down with the Walking Dead.
Yeah. If Michonne goes, I'm going to. I think, because, like I said, Rick. Rick, he was a boss in the beginning. I started watching the show. I think I was a season behind. when I started watching it. I would always hear. I guess I'm a bit of a hipster. When something comes out and it's all popular and people are talking about, I don't care about that stuff. I don't care. I don't want to watch that stuff. And but this was one of the shows that kind of got me early enough on. Like I said, I didn't get it from the beginning, but I like that because I got to watch it on Netflix and I got to watch, at my pace. I didn't have to wait weekly by week. I think that's one of the reasons it's hard for me to watch TV shows at this stage in my life is that I'm kind of too busy, and it's hard for me to keep up with stuff. But because I saw it that way, I got hooked into it. So as a person that doesn't read the comics, I love the show. I think it's hard to say because season 1 was obviously the season, and then I thought 2 was pretty boss as well. I thought it was a really good season. And that's when I knew I was in. I was gonna stick around. 3 had its ups and downs, as well as 4. I think 3 was mostly. We're in 5 now, right?
Yeah, we're in 5.
Wow, it's crazy. Awesome. I mean, it shows. Again, from my perspective, being not a fan of the comics, or I haven't read the comics, I probably would be a fan of if I read them. But from my perspective as a viewer just of the show, I think it's an awesome show. Like I said, again, that's why I was giving background on my viewing taste. Is if it could hook me, it's obviously a pretty good show for someone that's hard to stick around with TV shows and things like that. I think again, other than this season, the characters have been pretty well portrayed for the TV show. And I've liked some of the arcs. Some of the arcs were questionable. This is a really good show emotionally. Like I got emotionally invested in this show, which is something that happens rarely for me, even when I did watch a lot of TV shows regularly. So I was emotionally invested in a lot of characters, and especially when they go, it was sad. I mean, especially for someone like Beth. I know from the comics she was already gone, so you guys were expecting her to be gone. She wasn't even a major character, right?
Yeah, I don't really even recall her existence. I think she was there. She probably was on the farm.
She was just around.
She died. We moved on.
And I liked her arc for the most part. It was just it was so sad to me to see her go the way she went, because obviously they already thought she was dead. And then they get to find out that she's still alive, and then before you even get to her, she's dead again. I mean, I thought that was pretty gripping, and I'm probably a little bit more invested in her character because I watched the Talking Dead episode after she died, and she was so emotional. She was crying like every 5 minutes, and I was a little teary-eyed because I saw how much she cared about the people and being around that. And again, from my perspective, I've worked on films myself, and there's a camaraderie, that you get from working with people for that length of time, and you get so used to it, and you forget that it's gonna end at some point. It's just when it does, it's like losing a brother, it's like losing a family member, and that's why I probably felt that a little bit more than most people when I saw that, because I know how that feels. So. I wasn't expecting to care about her character, but I did. They made me care about her. And
I mean, are you getting choked up right now?
Am I getting choked up right now? No, not at all. I need a minute. No,
I do.
No, but it happened from a few characters here and there. It's funny because when it goes by, it becomes a blur. You forget the people that you care about. And I want to go back and watch some of the better seasons and start to remember these people that I seen come and go. But I'm waiting for them to resolve Mr. Shadows. I'd like to call him. You see?
Morgan.
Yeah. Like I thought he was gonna have something to do with Noah. I thought he was gonna be Noah's uncle that he'd been talking about. But I don't know. You have a little bit more perspective on that, being a fan of the comics, but who knows, even because they change stuff.
Exactly.
So you know, what do you think about that?
I mean, I remember, I think Morgan eventually shows up again when they find somewhere safe to be after um, being on the run for a little bit right now. He shows up again. He's a little worse for wear, a little extra crazy. I think he hooks up with Michonne.
Interesting.
If I recall correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened to him. I guess he wasn't really that important.
I was gonna say he must not be that memorable.
Yeah, no, he really wasn't, because they had so much other stuff going on that
right.
maybe he's still there. Oh, I don't know.
The one thing I hate about TV shows is what I like to call filler episodes. And it's basically episodes where they focus on one character or maybe a couple of characters, and you don't.
Or
know
they
what's
just
going on.
randomly start singing. There's those episodes.
Oh boy, yeah. Let's not do that. Too
or
much.
Dancing. They'd start dancing.
Yeah, I don't like those. That's that takes away from the tone again that they've been building up for so long. And they got to do that to some degree, like again because they have to build this 20 plus episode story basically. So that's 20 hours that we see production wise. That's that could be 300 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to trim the fat, and they shoot a lot of stuff that they don't use a lot of times. It's hard to put these things down to 1 hour and make it cohesive and make it flow again with the tone and the pacing wise. So that happens, and hopefully going forward, being that this is mid-season, we don't get a lot of that stuff. Obviously, they're going to Washington now. Because they need something to do.
That's basically it. Because
basically it, yeah.
They have nothing else.
Yeah, they need some focus and they need somewhere to go. And hopefully that leads to more, some more stories. I'm sure you have some idea what's going on with that. Obviously, they changed it again for the show.
Well, yeah. Because they keep alluding to these bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it's the bad guys I know about.
Right.
Because that'll be awesome. But then at the same time, it's like, are you going to water it down again? Because you made the governor a little fluffy nothing compared to what he was in the comic.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, I thought that dude was psychotic.
No. The reason why Michonne really went after him is because in the comic he raped her. Like, it was a lot more to the governor than just what he was. Like, they humanized him. I'm like, no, this guy is crazy and evil.
Right.
Keep him crazy and evil.
They just let they would have just let them, yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I was like, okay. And then they had the scene with Maggie. I was like, okay, if you're gonna switch out the characters, okay, fine.
Haven't do that to her, but he didn't do it to her either. So
no. I'm like, oh, come on. You don't have to. They do it on General Hospital and the soap and all the soaps and stuff. I don't understand why you couldn't do it on the AMC show.
Yeah, I think I think it's the tone again. I think with all the they have to adhere to a certain rating, and with all of with all the other stuff going on, those are basically points on a board. When it comes to the MPAA. So if you have somebody getting their arm cut off, this guy can't do this. They have to kind of
they have to balance it out.
Right. So there is that also. So you can't, with all the violence going on, and then you throw a rape in there, that might have just pushed it too far. So they have to kind of toe that line that they don't have to toe in a graphic novel.
Yeah.
So I can understand certain things like that. And The governor, from my perspective, was horrible enough, of a person to where you didn't need to do that,
Like how Lori died.
Right.
When the governor he had a tank, he sprayed bullets, and as they were all fleeing, Lori was running with the baby.
Oh.
And that's how her and the baby died. So when Rick goes off the deep end talking to the mysterious person on the phone, it's because he's talking to Lori because he saw her get gunned down along with their newborn baby.
Wow.
But again, I understand why they couldn't put that on TV.
Right. That would be a little bit much, I think.
So that also showed how, evil
Yeah.
the governor was. There was nothing human about him.
Right.
Wow.
I mean, again, from our perspective.
Are you okay over there, Jay? Or are you just not going to read the comics? I'm giving you the soft stuff.
Oh, man. From a TV viewer only's perspective, the governor was pretty damn raw.
Apparently, he wasn't raw enough.
He wasn't raw enough.
Not for me. I'm like, oh, he's a fluffy pink bunny. Come on, give me the real stuff.
I mean, I didn't like when they did try to humanize him a little bit, when he was shacked up with those folks for a little bit. That kind of annoyed me because I wanted to hate him. They were trying to humanize him. I was like, are they trying to, make me not hate him? Because this guy should be hated. And, he came back around, and so the payoff was good enough for me. But that was that's he's a lot rougher apparently.
Yeah. So that's why some of the bad guys that they will encounter are to the 10th power of the evilness that was the governor in the comics.
Right.
So I want that evil.
Yeah, and
I mean,
like I
some
said,
of the stuff they can't.
Yeah,
I was scarred just reading it. Like my eyes couldn't understand what I was seeing, so they can't put that on TV. Completely understand.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they could, but they'd have to water down against something else. So you're not gonna be ever completely satisfied because they can't do basically what they did in the graphic novel. They probably couldn't do that in the film version.
No, they couldn't.
Some of that stuff, it would have to be.
That only could be sketched out.
Yeah.
From somebody's twisted mind.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
So, that's like
read the comics. You would know exactly. Anybody who's read the comics knows exactly what point I'm talking about. That was just so graphic that you were confused at what you were seeing in the little box. You were like, what is that?
Right.
Wait, what? You guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
I remember the box from Seven, movie Seven with Brad Pitt and.
What's in the box?
Oh man, that disturbed me to this day.
Yes, that's it.
So I don't even want to know what's in that box.
Yeah. Read the comics and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh boy, maybe someday.
When you're ready. When
I get a robot heart that I know I won't pass. That I can take it.
Like I literally stopped mid-comic and I put it down. I called my brother. I'm like, what?
Was that traumatizing? Oh boy.
Yeah. So what do you hope to see happen for the rest of season 5?
I hope the pace picks up. I hope the characters get redefined. That some of the wavering characters like Glenn was my boy for a while, and then he just kind of fell off. Him and Maggie, those were people that I was really invested in and worried about. So Maggie's sister just died, after all this time, and we barely even know how she's feeling in that episode. Like was she even in the episode? Like
no, she wasn't, and I was confused as to why.
You can't cut her out of that episode.
Why was Glenn in their car? Why wasn't Glenn in the other car? You had Abraham, you have Rosita, you have Daryl, you have Carol, you have a bunch of other characters that could have been in that car, and Glenn could be with wife or whatever we'll call her. He should have been in the other car with his chick comforting her. I don't
Right.
understand.
It made
You
no
have a lot of
sense.
strong characters that could have been in the car.
It just
There was
yeah,
no reason.
that made no sense to me. Like again, some of those choices were not good choices. I mean, so going forward, I want them to fix that, fix stuff like that going forward. And sometimes that kind of stuff happens because on TV shows there are a lot of cooks in the kitchen. The production people are basically the same throughout, but you get new directors basically every episode. So sometimes that throws off the pacing and stuff. But that helps the show not become stale as well. So that's why they do that in TV shows, because if one guy's running the whole show for the whole time, it can get stale pretty quickly. So they bring in new directors to give it a different visual flair. And I did like the visual flair of this episode. I just thought tonally, visually, artistically, it was well done. But from a fan's point of view, it was kind of whack. And Maggie not being in it was part of it. Her sister just died. I want to see how she's coping with that. And have to wait another episode to see that is kind of annoying, especially after waiting for the break, the mid-season break.
And you're not guaranteed that you'll even see her next episode.
Yeah, there's no guarantee she's going to be in the next episode. So that is kind of weird to me. So let's fix up the pacing here going forward, and let's get let's get back to some real storyline. Let's get back to some real grittiness, get me to care about these people again, like Daryl. Daryl was another dude that I loved for a while, and I still like him, but I don't know who he is right now. I don't know where he is right now as a character. So let's reestablish some of these people going forward, and hopefully, the season can be saved by the end.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just to piggyback off of what you're saying, they do need to really define these characters. I'm not invested in them. Like I said, Tyreese, whatever, he's dead. And I can really go through a lot of the other people who are left. Like, you can kill Sasha, I can just bye, whatever, because I'm not invested in them, and obviously Maggie gets the world's worst sister award because she didn't ask about her sister until somebody told her, like, hey, your sister's alive.
Right.
So, so like, a lot of people, they could just all die, and as long as Michonne's left standing, I would be okay. Have her own spin-off show, everybody died and she...
Michonne, the lone ninja warrior.
Exactly, and I would watch it. I would totally support that show.
Right.
I would wear my Michonne t-shirt and be good.
I'm so in for that.
Well, can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
I did hear about like them doing a spinoff, right? With them being like on the West Coast.
Yes.
And the West Coast is like more heavily populated and stuff like that. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah. That would be cool because, one of the things about the show is that there's a lot of woodlands going on. There's not a lot of, I'm a city boy, so I like to see some urban stuff. That's why I really got caught up in the series to begin with, because they were in the middle of Atlanta. And I was like, yeah, I like this. This is crazy. Anything can happen at any moment. And now they're kind of walking around in the woods all the time. It's just kind of not as intense to me because of that. So, yeah, I'd be down for that.
I think it would be cool. We can see way more zombie hordes. I think that would be fun to show how they would really deal with it. In the comics, they came up with a great system on how to deal with the zombie hordes, even though now they're facing something way worse than that. So I think it'll be fun to see some people in the urban setting and see how they are dealing with it. And, maybe somehow they could be related to some of the characters. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I want to try to get back to the East Coast. I was only here for a meeting before everything fell apart.
Yeah, because I'm sure these people have family.
Yeah.
Other than their immediates, and some people's got to survive somewhere. It wouldn't have to be somebody directly related to this group either, but that would probably help as far as transition into a spin-off show. So, Yeah, that would be pretty interesting, I think.
So, I mean, I would. I mean, I'll give it a try. If it sucks, it sucks. I don't have to keep watching.
Yeah, it would have to be tonally different from Walking Dead. Obviously, it has to have a completely different tone. I think we don't want it to be another, another arm of the show.
Mhm.
Okay.
Exactly. It can't be like Once Upon a Time in Wonderland.
Yeah, it can't be.
I mean, that's an example of how it could go wrong.
Yeah, or it can't be CSI Zombies LA. It's basically the same show in a different city. No.
You would watch that?
No. No. Basically the same show with a different cast in another city. That's not gonna work. It had to be tonally different. Like it had to be like a badass group of people that ain't dealing emotionally the same, tonally the same.
Yeah, because they have to survive in a different world, so they have to.
It could be a dark comedy, even like what's that show, Zombieland or something, something like that. Tonally completely different, I think, would be the best way to go.
Yeah, they're not going to do that, right?
What's that?
I say they're not going to do that, right?
No, they're not going to do that. No.
They're not going to do that.
We
can talk about it, but that's not what's going to be.
They would play it safe. They wouldn't go that route.
Yeah, it'll be exactly The Walking Dead Part 2.
Right.
That's what's going to be.
It'd be Zombie CSI LA.
Yeah. They'll try to figure out what characters will be the it character. Can we get another character like Daryl happening so we can get a lot of money off of merchandising?
Right.
That's about it.
It'd be another Talking Dead show behind that one too, I bet.
Exactly.
To make more money.
Okay, so any other thoughts?
No, I think we pretty much exhausted. I have anyway.
Exactly. Okay, so I guess this is it for the first episode of Dead Talkers. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and you will come back again next week where we can discuss how they probably won't even address anything going on with Maggie. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so sign-offs. Jay, go ahead.
Thanks for having me. I actually learned a lot. You have interesting comic book taste, Vikki. Thanks for having me around, though. I may actually, because I did watch like some of season 3, so I may start back watching.
Come back.
Come back, folks.
I may, so yeah. I did read about the whole Tyreese thing because a lot of people were mad about it. So I was just like, wow, I just want to hear what you guys thought about it. So
Twitter was ablaze last night about Tyreese.
Yeah.
I'm just loving all the Black History memes. That's what I'm doing.
I didn't even think about that. Oh, boy.
That's what it's all about for me. Let me share that one. Okay, so Mr. T, your sign off.
All right, it's Mizzah T of the Mizzah T Show. Had an excellent time. I think we covered our loves and likes and dislikes of the show pretty well here. We've been talking about doing this for a while, so I'm glad we finally been able to get around to do it, and hopefully we have better material to talk about going forward.
We only can talk about what they give us. That's all we can do, people. I'm sorry. If the show was bad, then we'll just have jokes. That's all we can give you.
All right, I'll see y'all next time.
All right, everybody. This is Vikki from fangirlreview.com. Please check the channels, see what all we are doing, and thank you and good night.